Welcome to this week's mentorship video. Today I want to talk about content, getting content out there. One thing as I'm reestablishing my marketing firm, bringing that back to life, the focus that we're going to have is on content marketing. It's one of the things that I've found to be the highest yield around our marketing. It actually lowers even advertising spend. When you're promoting content and adding value, you can actually reduce your spend or even keep your spend where it is, but get more out of it. And then also, you're also helping the clients because you're giving more value away. And this is a huge thing. So as of our last video, we talked about follow-up and that we can keep following up and we're spending all this energy and then it's not useful. So just, doing the minimum follow-up, to what, one or two times, whatever's scheduled, you're BAM-famming, which is booking a meeting from a meeting. And then from there, we want to get them on our list and we want to nurture them. And on that list, it's like, what content are we providing? So this comes back to you looking at your wow clients. Who are your wow clients and what are they challenged with? What are their biggest desires? And what are the things you can start to bring into on a regular basis? Now, number one thing before we go further on any content, valuable content. It has to be valuable. If you're just putting content to put out there, in the years past, it's been popular to create a newsletter and then regurgitate other content like what the weather's going to be like or what's going on in your community. And gathering that information, if no one else is doing it, is a valuable thing. But if everyone else is doing it too, or they can get this information elsewhere, then it's not as valuable. Maybe people will use you as the trusted source, and if you can build that reputation, then maybe it can be valuable. But the reality is we want something even higher value. And what I look at is, where are my wow clients challenged? Like even creating this video, it's like how to create content is a very powerful thing that I can give you value, and watching this video can give you new insight in how to do that. One thing that I always look for when we look for the topics, so I guess before I say that, the topics that you want to look for is just listing out things. So even ways to get started, just to get your mind thinking, what are the top 10 frequently asked questions? What are the things that you're asked a lot or gets brought up a lot? What are the top 10 should have asked questions? What should people be asking you that they don't know about already? There's 20 topics right there, right? And then you can look to your wow clients and look at what their biggest goals are, what their challenges are. And when you look at those the surveying that you should be doing, when you look at that and you figure out what is going on, then that is going to allow you to have new ideas as well. And once you start producing this content at the end of every video, podcast, written blog, however you're doing this content, we'll talk about that in a minute, then you want to ask people, what else do you want to know about? What else could I teach you that's going to help you? What other questions do you have? You continually look for more content that you can be bringing into your business and into your content specifically. And so this keeps things going. So you really just have to get the first 10, 20, 30 topics. And that might sound like a lot, but if you actually look at the things that are going on, then it's not that much. You could actually have a list pretty quickly. And so the reason I say this is because a lot of times we try to put too much content into each piece. So you want to have one topic for every video, podcast, or blog that you create. And the way that you're going to want to do that is a little format that I've come up with that I've found is really useful. It's 3 parts. Number 1, you focus on a story. Like always open. You can tell them what the topic is, but then lead off with the story. Tell them a story that's going to want them, like where success has come from this one point. Or a story where you once had a challenge and then something changed and then you had this new result. And that change is what they're going to want to focus on, right? So telling the story of that's going to empower them to say, or motivate them to either empower, motivate, or both, that's going to want them to want to know more. So you tell this impactful story. Then the second thing, so that's the first thing. Then the second thing you're going to do is you're going to teach the lesson. what can they learn from that one thing, right? And make it as simple lesson as you can so that it's digestible and they can go do it. And then the next thing you do is give them an action. Tell them what they can go do, what they can go practice in their life or implement into their business or their life so that they can then start to see and have change. And that's really it. And then from there, then maybe you bookend it with another story that reinforces everything, or you just close out that piece of content. Now these content, so again, just to repeat, it's story, lesson, action item, or exercise. If you're in a live group doing it, you can have an exercise right there in the room with everyone. But that's the format: story, lesson, action item, or exercise. And if you have enough time and you want to tell another story, you can bookend the stories, like have another story that reinforces it even further. And then you just close it out and ask people to subscribe, to like, to comment, and tell them that your comments really help you drive what you're going to put out next on your website or on your social media channel. And this goes for all channels, whether you have a blog. It's best to put stuff on your website so ultimately people come back to you, but then you can put pieces of this out there. So let's talk about formatting for a second now, switching gears. So what are you really good at? What's going to be easy for you? Are you great at writing? Is it a really fast thing for you to write? Then maybe you want to do a written blog. If you're not so quick at writing like me, I can write a lot better than I used to. I keep getting better every year at my writing skills, but I am better as a speaker. And I don't mind being on camera. So if you feel that you're stronger at the spoken word, then speak. And if you do it on camera, if you want to speak or teach and be in front of people, then getting in front of the camera is going to be a good habit, something that you can practice. And also it allows people to start to get to know you. So even before I had a speaker reel on my website, just having my episodes out, people actually called me to speak, and they're like, that episode you did on your website, can you talk about that at my event? And it got me speaking engagements. So putting yourself on video is definitely recommended if you want to be a speaker or you're already a speaker. So I would actually make episodes. And then if you don't like being on camera, but you still are a slower writer, then go to a podcast. Just speak and have a podcast. And then that gets out to people so they can listen to you, and people will start to follow you, and they'll either listen to you, watch you, or read. Now, when I do video or I do a podcast, I transcribe it and I use rev.com, rev.com. I'm not affiliated, although I probably should. But then it's $1 a minute. So if you have a 3-minute video, it's going to cost you $3. And they've given the highest quality transcription that I've seen. You get back the words. Now, then you can edit that a little bit just to clean it up. But then put that with the video, so then you have search engine optimization. You can start to see the words will pop up on your website, and then Google will see it, and that will be useful to add and supplement your podcast or your video episodes. So that's the formatting. So you pick. Do whatever's going to help you so you don't get stuck. If video is too much work for you, then don't do it. Do something else. And it doesn't have to be so pro. Like even this is just with my laptop, and I did get a microphone, and this one's only 100 and something. Now I think it's even less. I think you can get this microphone for under 100. And I've been thinking about upgrading soon. There are even nicer microphones than this, but it just makes it's easier to hear. And then I do have a light here in front of me, and then a light back there, and those were like $100. So there's only like a couple $100. Well, my laptop was more expensive because I have the MacBook Pro, but whatever laptop, if you have a camera, you can start really easy. Now, could this be better? Like I can even see it's like changing the aperture. Like I can see color changing on the video. This is not ideal. However, you're still getting the content that I'm delivering, and it's still helping you. So make that a part of this. Just do it. Just get started. And the last thing that I want to give about content here for today is frequency. Now, make it so that at least once a month you're doing this, but really ideally you'd like to do it once a week. But don't push yourself. If you can't put out quality content, and a quality, I mean the quality of the actual content, like what I'm saying. You can keep improving the camera and the microphone and all that stuff, but as long as it's viewable and it's decent, you're going to be okay there. So if you want to do weekly, what I do is I actually I record my episodes once a month. And then I do 4 episodes every month, and then they just keep going. And then what I would advise you to do is do it for 2 months and then launch it. So you have 8 episodes done, so you're always ahead. And then every month you keep adding 4, adding 4, adding 4. And so this way, if you do travel or you get sick or something happens, then you can still keep your episodes going. Because once you do it, you want to keep consistency and just keep putting them out there. So you pick if you want to do it bi-weekly, so every other week a new episode comes out, or if you can get it up to weekly, that would be ideal. It would give a frequency. I guess there is one more thing I want to say. You can also take short lines from this bigger piece of content and put some stuff out in social media. So you can put some one-liners out on Instagram, Facebook, but you can take it from this content so you can kind of have a theme for the week. So you can say, oh, this week I'm talking about this one topic, and you can put some shorter pieces of content, like a segment of the bigger piece of content, out on social media. And we can talk more about that later, but this at least gets you going on content. Let me know on Voxer what other questions you have, but at least this gets your mind thinking about what content can you be putting out. And this is one of the lowest costs, except for your time, but you want to put your energy towards this because it's going to lead to more engagements. You're going to get more clients. You're going to get speaking engagements if you want those. You're going to start engaging your audience, and now you have a nurturing program, because every time you have somebody that's not ready to work with you, but they put their name on your email list, then they're going to get this every month, every other week, or every week. And one of those topics is going to pop up, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to talk to you because I want more help around this. So putting out some content, some valuable content, can make a huge difference in your business and your marketing. I hope this is helpful today. Let me know how it was and what other questions you have. See, I just did exactly what I'm teaching you to do, asking you to give me more questions so that I can make the next video. And as always, remember, choose gratitude and create freedom.